Hello guys, welcome to another video. Singularity, Rimuru x Arifureta, by Aestics. Chapter 1, Hajime and Yu were warriors who had gone through lots of life-threatening battle throughout their march in the Great Orcus Labyrinth. Even so, despite their experiences, they were still incapable of fully comprehending his existence. A silver-haired beauty performing all sorts of miracles that defies the common sense conceivable by humans of this time. The Hydra they had to give their all to fight was vaporized into nothingness in an instant, leaving not even its atoms left. A simple blue jelly-like substance was splashed over them and they reverted to their optimum state. Yu is the same. She considered herself very knowledgeable of the world, but she didn't think in her dreams that there would be a thing that can completely restore someone to their optimal selves. It made sense since Rimuru identified himself as a former resident of the Cardinal world. Hajime felt something soft and warm enveloping his entire body. It felt rather nostalgic. It was the sensation of sleeping on a bed, cushioned by a soft mattress and covered by a warm down blanket. What the hell? I thought I was in the labyrinth. What am I doing on a bed? He tried to move his right hand. However, his hand refused to move. It was wrapped on a completely different type of softness. Huh, Hajime, in a panic, Hajime got up and sure enough, beside him was a sleeping Loli, her small body fully wrapped in his arm. Fuck. Hajime, he slowly moved his arm, trying not to wake her up, but the result was on. You, a fucking sensual moan. Oh god, this feels so wrong. Hajime thought. Who can blame him? This woman might be well over hundreds of years old, but she was still a child in appearance. You, get up. You. Hajime, MMMF. Yu mumbled incoherently in her sleep and clung even tighter to Hajime's arm. His right hand was getting dangerously close to a certain part of her lower body. Goo. Don't tell me this really is heaven. Spouting absolute nonsense, Hajime attempted to disentangle his right arm, but every time he tried to move it. MMMF. MMNG. Ah, Yu would moan provocatively. Unable to bear it any longer, he was about to scream and forcibly wake her up, but You kids, it's time tea, huh? Rimuru, huh? Hajime? Rimuru opened the door, trying to invite them for food, but froze with the sight. A naked Yu's body wrapped in naked Hajime's arm. As Hajime was trying to wake her up earlier, his arm was hovering just above Yu's defenseless body. He looked every bit like a criminal, oozing Lolliconian aura from every single one of his pores. Rimuru had a deadpan look, the shine in his deep gold eyes gone as it was replaced with an emotionless hue. I can explain, Hajime said, sweating all over his body. Hajime, a voice said, which belonged to a finally awake Yu. Yep, it's me, Hajime. Morning, sleepy Hajime. Hajime. You. Huh? Hajime. Yu gazed blankly at Hajime for a few seconds before suddenly opening her eyes wide and leaping into his chest. With the both of them still stark naked, of course. He felt the soft sensation of her skin caress his entire body while a sweet aroma tickled his nose. He couldn't keep himself from getting aroused any longer. However, when he saw her sobbing into his chest, he couldn't bring himself to peel her off. Instead, he smiled awkwardly and patted her head. Sorry, I probably worried you, didn't I, Hajime? Cough. Rimuru, who was completely forgotten, coughed loudly in order to gain their attention. Anyways, now that you guys are fully healed, come downstairs when you're done with whatever you're doing. Or about to do. Whatevs, we have a lot to explore in this house, so hurry up, Rimuru said. Hajime fell of the bed, on his knees, his hands on the ground, while muttering, now he really thinks I'm into kids. Yu was just confused, but it seemed she got the general idea, at the very least. Anyways, after Hajime's little breakdown, Yu began to explain things to him. According to Yu, he got dragged by Rimuru when the door to the last place opened. Of course, Rimuru initially examined the place, but he deemed it safe, so he told Yu to rest with Hajime as he looks around the area. This place is apparently called the Maverick's Lair. By the way, why am I naked? He asked, genuinely curious. He sincerely hoped it wasn't because they'd had sex. It wasn't that he didn't like Yu. He just wanted to make sure he was mentally prepared before he made that jump. You were dirty. So I cleaned you up. You, why are you licking your lips like that, Hajime? That seductive smile of hers was the same one she always wore after she'd finished sucking Hajime's blood. Shivers ran down his spine. Okay, But then why did you sleep next to me? And why, naked, Hajime? Fufu. You, wait, what's with that laugh, what did you do? And quit licking your lips like that already, Hajime kept questioning you, but she simply gave him that same bewitching stare and refused to answer any further. It looked like she was having fun. Finally, he gave up and decided to start investigating the Maverick's lair. As they prepared to leave, Yu pulled out some clothes she had found while exploring earlier. They were men's clothes, which meant the Maverick was most likely a guy. They were going down the stairs and they saw Rimuru eating food and reading a book. You rabbits sure took your time. I can't help but worry about my future when I'm beside you, Rimuru. Quit acting like I'm gonna corrupt you into turning to a lolicon, Hajime roared, visibly embarrassed. Despite the fact that Hajime can now barely trust anyone, and the fact that they barely know each other, Hajime felt at ease when around Rimuru. During their breakfast, which miraculously lasted for over 12 hours, they began to share each other's experiences. First off, Hajime and Yu told their stories. Along with answering Rimuru's question, the process took over 3 hours. What took too long, however, was Rimuru's explanation. When he said, "Oh, right. First off, I'm not human," like he was talking about the day's weather, things began going on a serious route there. Rimuru explained virtually everything about him while keeping the full extent of his powers, and of course, private life is hidden. To say Hajime and even Yu was shocked was to say the least. They were beyond astonished and surprised. Who could blame them? The bunch of nonsense spouted by Rimuru in an unusually serious tone was too unbelievable to believe. Rimuru came from Earth, reincarnated as a slime, built a country, became a true demon lord, participated in some multiversal war with so-called phantoms and insectors, etc., etc. In the end, they all believed it. Now, they are bound by an agreement. Hajime wants to go back to his home, to Earth, while Yu will come with him. Rimuru will also come with them and assist them as he wants to once again experience the entertainments of Earth. Rimuru is now certainly playful and laid back. When he gets serious, they can tell things are serious. In the end, Yu and Hajime were so tired of the massive information they digested that they told Rimuru they'd explore the house tomorrow. Hajime was currently at the bath located outside, alone, as he wanted some time to relax and enjoy while pondering over everything Rimuru said. Of course, he now believed and trusts him. Rimuru trusted him enough to reveal that kind of absurd information, so he ought to do the same. He just couldn't picture him lying about it. Through some unknown factors, they developed a strong sense of camaraderie. As he was lost on deep thought, he sensed a presence behind him. "You, I told you I wanted to bathe alone, Hajime." Yu didn't say anything as she just went into the water beside him, wearing nothing but towel wrapping. "At least cover your front. I know this house has a lot of towels, Hajime. I want you to look." Hajime was at a loss for words. Her unexpected reply left him even more flustered than before. His lower half was raring and ready to go as it peeked out with a, "You rang, master?" "See, Hajime, don't you want to look?" Yu followed up with another attack. Her pleading voice was slowly whittling away at Hajime's reasoning. "Master, target spotted at 12 o'clock. His breathing started growing ragged." You, I'm not sure Hajime, am I not pretty enough, Yu?" Hajime tried to reason his way out of the situation, but Yu cornered him with a very depressed-sounding follow-up. When his eyes met hers, he realized the sadness and insecurity in her voice had been real. "Not at all. Trust me, you're really pretty. There's no way I'd ever think you're ugly." Before he realized it, Hajime's voice had grown louder and he was nearly shouting. After he finished shouting, he suddenly realized how heated he'd gotten and realized it was too late to back out. Yu had the same seductive expression she'd worn at the beginning. "Hajime. You. Hajime, thus marks the night of freedom, love, and the destruction of 2 V cards. They're too fucking loud." The embodiment of beauty says as he elegantly sits atop the roof, visibly cringing with the loud clapping noises and moans that pervaded the entire floor.